I'd like to start by first acknowledging that it is with respect and gratitude that we are gathered here today on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for our fantastic sponsors. So we handpick all of these sponsors. We work with a number of really great organizations to offer some amazing services to our founders. And so thank you to all of our sponsors. We would not be here without you. Michael from Manning Elliott, did you want to say a couple of words? We are here at Manning Elliott's office, and we do very much appreciate you hosting us. So I'll hand over for you to say a few words. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. And welcome, everybody. Yeah, I was just busy chatting with one of the presenters. Yep, we're here at Manning Elliott. So we're accountants and have the regular batch of services for accounting, but also my group, we do the R&D tax credits. So R&D advisory for the shred. If anyone wants to talk about that with me, that would be great. Some interesting things coming up in the near future. They're expanding, potentially if the budget goes through, they'll be expanding the expenditure limit. So if you're spending $2.5 million on salaries, you get maybe 1.6 million back in the near future, and adding pubcos. So if anyone's interested in doing medtech or biotech, you might have an option to go public and still get refundable shred credits in the future. So I'm hoping that goes through. And if anyone wants to chat about that, feel free. Thank you. Enjoy the day.
Thank you, Michael. And we are here on a Thursday, which is not what we usually do. And so I appreciate everyone switching up their schedules for us. We had our New Ventures BC partners have their event last night. And I actually know that it's the it's the Life Sciences BC finale this evening. And we had it previously next week, and that's the Angel Forum event. So October is a very, very busy month, but I do appreciate all of you coming out today. We have a good showing, and excited for the fantastic presentations that we have today as well. So to get into things, again, we are partnered also with NRC IRAP. We offer some workshops and some services for the companies to prepare in getting to this stage and presenting that we wouldn't be able to do without NRC IRAP, so we thank them very much. We also are partners with Keiretsu Forum. Keiretsu is kind of like Vantec. They're a little later stage. I see them as kind of like the big sibling of Vantec. They work with companies at the Seed Plus and Series A stage. So we see a lot of companies that pitch here go on to pitch at Vantec or at Keiretsu, and a lot of our members are both Keiretsu and Vantec members. So a little bit about Vantec, if you are here for the first time. We're a community, and we meet on a monthly basis to hear over 100 pre-vetted companies over the year pitch, and you connect with other angels, and you can promote your own programs and events. So really, it's about giving these companies the first step into the investment world to meet with investors just like yourselves and build their network, rely on you for mentorship, advice, and hopefully investment as well. And we also always get together every summer. We've done it at the rooftop of the BDC Stack building last 2 summers, and we look forward to do that next year as well. We use Dealum as our back office system. This is really to get all of the information about the companies that pitched today. So if you are interested in getting the contact info, you can find it on there, seeing their pitch decks, seeing a whole bunch of information about them. It's my first step when I do due diligence on these companies. That's where I start. I get that information and we go from there. So Dealum is really, really great for seeing who's coming up for these pitches, and also go back and see the pitch videos from for any of the past events that we have hosted, see the information, and also organize your own due diligence through Dealum as well. We have a member referral program. If any of you invite somebody, they become a member, we will take $100 off your membership for the next year. For those of you who are interested in the tiers of our membership, we are only charging $600 for the year and $300 for an online membership. Speaking of which, hello to everyone online. Great to have you here as well. And if you do have questions, put them in the chat, and Mark will make sure that we ask those to the presenters as well. So last month, I talked to you a little bit about the investment cohorts idea that we've been kicking around, and I've been getting some great feedback. We've got some strong interest already, and there's been a number of questions. I just want to go over a few of those just to make sure that everything is clear for everyone. And so first, there is no requirement to participate in the cohorts. We still want to run Vantec as usual. We still want to have these events, give you the opportunity to meet with the companies, but you do not need to participate in the due diligence or the actual investment into the companies through the cohorts. You can always do your own investments outside directly with those companies. We're looking to have access to, or give access to an equal or new, equal or more new companies every year. We're going to do that by still offering the same, if not more, pitch events. And you can be, if you do want to be involved and do the cohorts, you can be as involved or hands-off in the due diligence process as you would like. As a recap, $10,000 investment at the beginning of the year is divided across 4 investments through 4 cohorts. So 4 companies getting a minimum of $50,000 per cohort is what we are shooting for. Someone in the waiting room there. If you are interested, you can scan this survey. We'll send out the link to this as well in the post-event email. Let us know what you think. Want to hear if you like the idea, if you don't like the idea, any feedback, comments that you have. And of course, if you have anyone in your network that you think might be interested in this as well, we'd love for them to participate as well.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Yes, again, my name is Chris Stairs. I'm a co-founder of Sales Primer, along with my partner, Colin McQuinney. You may recognize us. We're here at every pitch event. We've been delivering sales support for early stage and scaling ventures for over 10 years in the market. And specifically, we're excited to be a partner with Vantec. We're actually celebrating 2 years as of this month as a sponsor and content provider. Once a month, we host a workshop, Traction and Trajectory, where we have an opportunity to prep the founders for both their pitch event and also due diligence, and just walk them through the notion that it's not just about presenting your product to market fit, but ultimately needing to get onto your venture model, which is really about what's the real world traction that you've secured so far. How does that speak to your potential trajectory? And then ultimately, the big question is target ROI for the founder, and most importantly for the funders, for you in the room. The reason why I'm here today is just quickly to share a service announcement. And again, I think this is going to be of interest both to founders and funders. So in our regular day-to-day, Sales Primer often conducts sales readiness assessments for founders who are often transitioning to a more scalable level of growth, and most especially when you're at that critical juncture, transitioning from founder-led sales to introducing a team. And I'm happy to say we're now in our 2nd year, a partnership with NRC IRAP, where eligible companies who are clients of NRC IRAP can apply, and there's a certain amount of qualification, but potentially can have this sales readiness assessment underwritten by NRC IRAP. And again, it's a way for you to get a prescriptive plan to understand what's required to get to the next level of growth milestone. And what's especially exciting about this is the output of this assessment can often be used to arrange for a business innovation project with NRC IRAP. In some instances, no guarantee, but in some instances that can include even some non-dilutive funding. So I just want to let you know that that is an option potentially available for you if you are with NRC IRAP. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is on the slide, or certainly come up to me after the presentation.
Jackson, are you in the room? Would like to make an announcement about the startup visa program?
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, we have the final startup visa program, which will take place on November 6th on Zoom. So if you're a full-time member, you will receive an invitation in your email, and they'll have the Zoom link, and just register and just make sure you show up. It's November 6th, 9 a.m. and hope to see you all there. And it's really exciting because our members have found the best companies from the world, and they're bringing it to you for your future interest, and hopefully one day they'll be part of the Vantec family. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackson. Appreciate it. All right, and last announcement here, I do want to do a plug for What If Capital. A number of you are What If investors here in the room. We have just opened up our fall capital raise, and so if anyone is interested in learning more, I will send out some info on some workshops that we're going to be putting on, but feel free to send me an email. You can send it to both Stuart@whatif.ca or Aaron@vantec.ca as well. All right, now for what you've all come here this evening for, we have some really, really great companies that are going to be pitching to us this evening. So we have 4 90-second presenters and 6 5-minute presenters. And I would like to just remind everyone that we do want to collect feedback from you. This is really, really helpful for the companies. So feel free to do this through the QR code and do it online. You can let us know if you would like us to make a connection, or if you would like to stay anonymous and just provide that feedback, we're more than welcome to do that as well. It really is very helpful for the founders. There are the paper copies as well as you're coming in if you prefer to keep with those ones. So I'll give you a few more seconds with that up. And while we're doing that, I will invite our first presenter, Lawrence, to give us a quick pitch on Arbutus Medical. So Lawrence, let's start with just an introduction of yourself and your background and what brought you to starting Arbutus Medical. I'll hand over to you. Would you like to hear? Or?
Yeah. Well, hi, everybody. It's nice to see many familiar faces and also fantastic to see such engagement, I guess, with eFund and What If. Last couple of years, been a great shareholder for Arbutus. So I'm co-founder and CEO at Arbutus. My background is biomedical engineering. We spun this company out of UBC. Originally with a focus on adapting DeWalt drills for surgery in low resource settings. You know, for those of you that have been following the journey, we first presented to Vantec, I believe it was 2020. And at that time, we were taking a look at an exciting new opportunity to transform into an end-to-end workflow solutions company. And we've successfully been through that transformation now with a significant focus of our energy today in the US market. With a great footprint of a customer base that I'll talk about in a second. And we're in an exciting position to create a new category, which we're calling streamlining surgery outside the OR. We think this can make a big difference for patient care. And so the specific issue that we address is that surgeries in decentralized settings outside the OR, like a setting pictured here, the emergency room, they face serious workflow challenges. And it's because when you have to do a surgery in an ER, it's not the OR. So complex surgical instrumentation is not readily available to surgeons, and copy and pasting the expensive setup of instrumentation from the operating room into the ER just doesn't work. And what that leads to is a lack of access to instruments that translate to inefficiencies, which are costly, slow down patient throughput, and bad for patient care. So we're building the market's first portfolio of procedure kit grab bags to streamline surgery outside the OR, starting with the ER. We hit 5 million in trailing 12 months revenue this past summer. 81 US hospitals use our products daily. We have 21% share of our target market, which are level 1 trauma centers. So over 50 of 240. We're now raising 7 million to accelerate growth. We're building a comprehensive ER portfolio over the next 3 years, targeting 20 million in revenue run rate and positive EBITDA by 2028. And we're aiming to prove that we can translate this value proposition we're demonstrating in the ER to other settings outside the OR. We have secured a term sheet for a growth financing. So our lead investor, Credit Mutuel, is investing 5 million. Existing investors have contributed or committed 1.1 million to date, and we're seeking 900K to close this round. It's a Class B pref share financing with the deals listed here. It's CBC eligible, and I look forward to connecting with everybody here. And maybe just if I could say one other thing is we're accepting an award tonight at the Life Sciences BC Gala, so I do have to leave, but Aaron has offered generously as a shareholder through What If and Arbutus to connect with folks. Please email me if you'd like to connect, and I'd be happy to set up a one-on-one meeting to share more. And thanks for everybody's support, especially those already a shareholder through these funds.
Thanks so much, and congratulations on the award this evening. We'll talk soon, and yes, let me know if you'd like to chat about Arbutus Medical, or if you'd like me to connect you as well. All right, next up, I'd like to introduce Thanos from Tydra Labs to tell us a little bit more about your business. But before you go into your pitch, give us a quick minute on yourself, your background, your team, anything you'd like to tell us about the business and why you got started here. I'll let you take the floor here.
Thanos, co-founder of Tydra Labs. If you listen to my pitch last year, we were top 10 for New Ventures BC. I was originally the stretch fibers guy. So after working with my co-founder, Jay, in the audience here, doing a lot of customer interviews and getting one of the biggest feedbacks being, hey, you have this byproduct cut-in, but it's more valuable than the actual product. And more importantly, a conversation with world expert Dr. Orlando Rojas, who said, hey, this stuff can also grow your hair back. We made quite a bit of a significant pivot. The big thing though is our core mission is the same, our core technology is the same, but we're essentially looking at advancing essentially biomaterials and most importantly, getting to market as quickly as possible.
Fantastic. Let's put 90 seconds on the clock.
Right. So there's this magical material called chitin, known as nature's plastic. This in itself represents a $20 billion market. Unfortunately, it's very filthy, very expensive, and very pollutive to essentially extract this material. Tydra Labs has developed a biological process in order to extract and upgrade this material without all the mess, and most importantly, at a much lower cost. Why is this important? Well, let me tell you about paper cups, which I see quite a few people in the audience drinking. A paper cup is not a paper cup. In reality, you have a lot of these plastic liners as well as PFAS-based materials in there, which are directly transmitting microplastics into you. The problem with this is simple. No biomaterials in the market actually have proper water resistance or waterproofing properties. With Tydra Labs fibrillated chitin, we're actually able to solve this problem and impart in standard biomaterials these waterproof properties. In order to execute and build upon this, we've built a team of executors, operators, and innovators, as well as acquired world-class investors and advisors. We currently have a lead secured with Spring Capital and have already had 75% of our round committed and are looking to close by October 31st. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Thanos. All right. Next up for our 90-second presenter, we have Fraser to introduce us to EntheoTech. So Fraser, like everyone else, I'd love for you to give us a quick intro to yourself, your background, and why you started this business.
Beautiful. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Fraser Johnston. I'm the CEO and co-founder of EntheoTech. So I'm on the other side of my own journey with chronic pain and mental health, and these experiences profoundly impacted my life. I was trying to play pro rugby when I was younger and ended up with 3 major shoulder surgeries by the age of 21. After trying these experiences, they dramatically shifted the relationship I had with myself and my body, so I knew there was something here. Through my 20s, I saw friends and family members struggling with mental health, and after some education and support, they ended up taking the leap and trying these experiences with transformational results. Due to the fact I don't have a medical background, I saw the need to build an elite medical team. So my business partners, Dr. Loans, Dr. Sinan, are well-respected physicians and helped me legitimize the medical side of this business. What I'm about to get into here represents an emerging new market and opportunity in Health Canada approved psychedelic therapy. I truly believe this is the future of healthcare. So EntheoTech specializes in the treatment of chronic pain and mental health, 2 of the most pressing challenges in society today. Odyssey Therapeutic Experiences are our innovative mental health treatment. We use Health Canada approved psychedelic molecules in combination with an integrative care model to help clients achieve lasting transformation. We're seeing significant decreases in depression and anxiety after just 1 treatment, as well as massive improvements in quality of life. Our Kelowna flagship clinic, which we own and operate, has generated over $1.3 million since opening, and our revenue has been growing every year. We're also seeing a repeat client rate of 65%. We had strong growth in our client numbers last year and are on track to surpass them this year. To scale, we're using our Odyssey Partner Program to partner with established clinics. We provide training and education to open them up as new treatment locations, as well as licensing our Odyssey brand and methodology. This is a turnkey solution for these partners to increase their revenue. We maintain a 41% profit margin at our partner clinics and have 3 partners coming online in major cities like Vancouver and Calgary, which will lead to strong profit for EntheoTech. No one else yet has branded their therapy model, and Odyssey will become the premier brand for this form of therapy. Our multidisciplinary approach allows us to unlock additional revenue streams, as well as our Odyssey Partner Program, helping us to scale with capital efficiency. We have a team of dedicated healthcare professionals executing on this vision. We're raising $500,000 and $8 million pre-money valuation and have closed 75K so far. This is going towards our scaling strategy and customer acquisition. The milestone for this raise is profitability, as we had our first break-even month in August. I'll leave you with some of our testimonials. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Great job, Fraser. Thank you so much for that presentation. Next up, we have Ranjan, who I'll invite up to tell us more about himself, his background, and what brought you to start Sustainabite. So,
hello everyone. My name is Ranjot Singh Taliwal. My journey started in my first master's degree in agriculture engineering back in India. After that time, I was working on a government project for stubble burning sustainability. At that point, climate change became my biggest motivation. And at that point, I had a small company of sprayers, which I sold to fund my studies in Canada. So I came in Canada to do my second master's degree in environmental engineering. During that time, I felt that whenever I went to grocery stores, the food looked perfect, but lacked nutrition, lacked the flavor to it, and the shelf life was really low. At that point, I decided that I'm going to build a vertical farm. So for the next 3 years, I did 2 jobs. I saved up $100,000 in 3 years and then self-funded the farm. And I'm here to present you that. Thank you very much.
Take it away.
So in Canada, 75% of fresh produce is being imported, which leads to high carbon footprint, low shelf life, high wastage. And everybody knows vertical farming is the solution for Canada. But in the past, with billions of dollars of investment, 90% of the farms failed due to bad unit economics. At Sustainabite Fresh Farms, we have developed a profitable vertical farm that incorporates proprietary hybrid tower design that takes the best of aeroponics and hydroponics that gives us great yields. And we use 60% less energy. And we have proprietary disease control for diseases like fusarium and downy mildew. My father is helping me in this. He's PhD in agriculture economics with 30 years of experience. We are currently in the market for over a year. We are completely sold out. We are in 30+ stores, and recently we have been approved as a supplier for food, Patterson Food Group. So as we scale, it gives us access to brands like Buy Low Foods, Choices Markets, and the stores are already asking us 50 to 80% more volume. Each month, our farm generates about $14,000 of revenue with 38% net margins. So we are raising $1.5 million to build a modular container facility that will increase our production capacity to 1,000 pounds per week. And it will allow us to expand into all the hubs, and it will give us great margins and $1.5 million at least in revenues. Thank you very much, and looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you so much, Ranjol. All right, next up, I would like to introduce Samuel to tell us a little bit more about ImageCyte. And Samuel, you just won the Life Sciences Award at New Ventures BC, so congratulations for that. And I'm excited to hear a little bit more about the business here. So put 5 minutes on the clock and let you take it away.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samuel Berryman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of ImageCyte Technologies. Now, I'm here today to talk to you about microplates. And unless you worked in a research lab before, there's a very good chance you don't know what I'm talking about. What you need to understand is there's hundreds of millions of microplates used every single year. And market reports describe them as the workhorse of innovation across the life sciences. And that's because just about every drug, vaccine, and cell discovery made in the past 50 years, it started in a microplate. Now, I want you to imagine dumping 2,000 pieces of a puzzle on your counter and trying to solve for the image. But there's a catch. You're not allowed to touch the pieces. I can't solve that, and I don't think anybody else in this room could either. At best, what we'd be able to say is there's lots of blue or orange. To actually solve for the image, you need to start by spreading the pieces out. Only then can you get a better picture of the final image. Well, drug screening faces the same problem today. Right now, scientists are looking at thousands of cells at once and trying to make a single observation. At ImageCyte, what we're doing is making it possible to spread out these pieces by putting cells in nanowells that are informative of the big picture of how drugs actually work. And our device looks like this. It's a standard format the scientists are already familiar with. But instead of just the 96 wells, now they get up to 3 million. So it's a big difference. This is a transformative technology that is going to change the way we study cells. This solves a major cell isolation problem seen in existing products. We have a rapid path to market with our beta release underway, and this is a patent-protected technology. So in this market, we have a material advantage over current solutions. And that's because current nanowell products are made out of a single material. The issue with this is that cells like to crawl around, and that means they're going to be crawling out and over those walls. Our innovation is to split this up into a 2-material design, keeping cells isolated on a growth surface and preventing them from escaping. Not only that, we built it on top of glass, which provides fantastic imaging, the kind that scientists want. And we're able to do all of this because we've adopted manufacturing methods from the semiconductor industry and we're bringing them to the life sciences. So the intellectual property has been protected through patent filings. We have not only an approved, but an issued US patent as of last night. We have an ongoing US divisional and other filings in Canada and the EU with an exclusive license signed with UBC. So we put in the time to validate this market, talking to customers and talking to influential people in the field. Dr. Thompson described this technology as redefining the resolution of cell biology and opening an entirely new field of discovery. Dr. Jenner described this as bridging the gap between microscopy and cytometry. Dr. McSwiggan described this as solving a major problem they're currently facing. And Dr. Ellis talked about this opening up, working with rare and precious cell samples that are currently too difficult to work with. And each of our different applications that our plates work with are really markets of their own. We have applications in antibody discovery and screening circulating tumor cells, working with organoids and doing drug screening. Across all of these different applications, we've done a bottom-up analysis and come to an attainable market today of about $600 million. And I want to really point out, this is a consumable device, meaning those are reoccurring numbers. So this is our scale-up plan. Over the next 5 years, we're going to be going after 25 million in ARR. In 2026, we're going to be looking at setting up production and launching into the market. Our customers range from the tens of thousands of small labs up to the pharmaceutical companies who are going to sign multi-million-dollar purchasing contracts. So ImageCyte was founded out of a UBC research lab by myself and Professor Ma. We've been supported by a number of different programs, from the UBC Hatch Accelerator, Life Science BC's Investor Readiness Program, obviously the New Ventures BC competition, as was noted. And we have some amazing advisors we get to work with more than 150 years of combined experience and more than 20 successful ventures between them. So to do this, we're raising a seed round of 3 million. We're going to hit some milestones from manufacturing setup with initial production numbers. We're going to bring on some expertise. We're going to launch our first product into the market, be generating revenue, and secure a B2B partner to scale up. We're mainly looking to use these proceeds for, again, setting up production. We are absolutely building this company for growth, but we expect in 3 to 5 years, we're going to get an acquisition offer, which we will take to get liquidity for our investors. And a good exit would be to a company like Sartorius, who spends about 700 million every single year buying companies like ours. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. All right. So we'll open it up for a Q&A from the audience. If anyone has one, I'll come and give you the mic. And over to you, Harvey.
You provided an exit strategy, but you didn't tell us the valuation.
We are currently this is day one for us going out and raising. We're looking for a lead, and we expect that's going to be part of a negotiation. This is our initial financing, so we don't have prior financing that feeds into it.
Yes, go ahead.
When you mentioned about the recurring revenue, is it because of you are going to licensing this, or is the technology deployment side?
No, we're going to be looking to actually scale up manufacturing, and we're going to be looking for partners to help us with sales. So these are going to be global life science distributors where we do the manufacturing, they do the sales.
And on that, can you talk a little bit about your manufacturing plans and how that sort of changes and develops as you scale? Yeah, so over the next 2 to 3 years, we're actually going to be building up the production ourselves. At every single year, we're going to be reevaluating if it's the right time to bring on a contract manufacturer. This is a new technology, which means there's new developments, which is why we're in-house. Linda, did you have a question? Yeah, just got the mic there.
Hi, so just talking about your customers and your revenue for 2026, do you have any kind of letters of intent, or have you structured any of those deals? Do you have a wait list? Just tell me a little bit about in that case.
Yeah, so we currently have a wait list of about 75 customers. This is currently in the hands of a number of our initial users in our beta release, which we're continuing to expand. We're going to aim by the end of the year to get this into the hands of at least 50 different labs or companies.
And if I can add a follow-on question, then we'll go to Abdul at the front here. Tell us about the beachhead market to go after. Because I saw quite a few different markets you could go after.
Yeah, so one of the things we're looking to resolve with our beta release is understanding which are the beachhead markets that are going to be the easiest to get into. We currently believe that that's going to be something to do with stem cells because there's a lot of development in there.
Just to follow up on the question of the manufacturing, what is the capacity is going to be and what is the market size? Like if you own this whole market, what is
so
what is it that you're going to be marginal if you can talk about that?
So we believe today there's a market of about $600 for our product that's obtainable. Our initial manufacturing capacity is going to be about 10,000 units per year, which equates to about 4 million in revenue. And the margins on a product like this, you're looking at less than 10% for material costs. The larger cost is actually just on the sales model.
All right, and I know we have another question here, but I just want to ask one question that kind of follows on from that, because I think you had said the SOM was about $600 million. This looks like a really revolutionary product in the market. I'm wondering if there's any reason why you're not going to get that full $600 million if you can't take 100% of this market. Maybe a better way to phrase it is to look at your competitive landscape. What does the competitive landscape look like? And maybe get to that question I asked.
Slide for that. So our competitive matrix for us, we come out on top because first and foremost, we're working with glass and it's cover slip thick, 170 micron. This is what scientists want. This is what works best. So that alone is the reason to choose us. All of the other extras of functionality, being able to isolate cells and work with them, that's all extra.
Okay, and Peter, last question.
Yes, it sounds a really obvious solution, and you've got your competitive matrix up there right now. Has any other of your competitors tried to do something similar? And also, what's your moat? What's your barriers in IP?
Yeah, so the novelty of this really comes from bringing the semiconductor-based manufacturing practices over to the life sciences. Current manufacturing processes use injection molding or other forms of soft lithography that just don't work, or they don't work as well. And that's why this bleeding neck wound problem exists. We had to develop a new way of actually doing this manufacturing. So we're not just taking it, we actually changed it and patented it. And so our patent goes after not only the material we developed, but it's also the process and final product.
And we have a question online as well.
Question from Greg. Are you a complementary solution to Snap?
That comes up quite a bit.
Okay.
This absolutely could be a complementary because SnapSite was looking at doing AI-based analysis of cells. They did have a bit of a hardware implementation as well. We are a generic universal consumable that absolutely ties into AI and other applications. One of our main use cases we really do think is going to be doing drug screening using AI models, because we allow you to get hundreds of thousands to millions of individual samples from a single plate. And that scales like crazy.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Sam. All right, our next presenter here is Sonibel. I'd like to introduce Fia, George, and Human to tell us a bit about your company.
I am Sophia, the co-founder and CEO at Sonibel Instruments. This is George, our CTO, and Human, our CPO. And we are building the AI co-pilot for welders.
Welding is a core process used to build anything from ships to bridges to data centers. But currently, weld defects eat up 30% of their project budgets. And that's because there's a disconnect between when the welds are done and when the regulated quality inspections are done. Experienced welders fail 10% of those quality inspections because of unseen defects, which are often subsurface. It costs 10 times as much to fix any defects that are caught in that third-party inspection versus when a welder catches it themselves in real time, which is why our solution is to catch defects in real time. Recovering 30% of project budgets, reclaiming 2 months on year-long projects, avoiding delays and downtime. Our novel approach is attaching a small rugged sensor to the weld torch over there, which is where the welder is holding it and moving the torch. And then based on that, we display any defects that are caught on the alert screen for the welder. And we have a booth at the back where we actually have the product with us, so come check it out. We sat down with 2 of our development partners to validate a case study, looking at a bridge repair costing around $1.8 million. Implementing Sonibel would save over $540,000, breaking down into rework, reinspection, and delay costs.
So Canadian manufacturers have $112 billion worth of backlog. This is because of short labor shortages and as well as rising demand. Recent advances in machine learning and applications of it use smaller components and cheaper components, making it easier to deploy. The industry itself is also trending towards 100% inspection, which is a great opportunity for us. People have been trying to solve this problem using setup flaw detection. However, they don't tell the full story, whereas we also look at operator technique and the flaws that come from that. Competitors have limitations in scalability, integration, and regulation. Our data is our moat. Our data processing method is patentable and proprietary. Every unit deployed scales the database, which allows us to monetize it for other applications, such as robotic welding. Moving on to us, I have a background in mechatronics, and I saw this problem at C-SPAN, and I was working as a reliability engineer, hence why I'm building Sonibel.
I have a background in manufacturing engineering. Previously, I've worked in business partnerships and sales roles at a Silicon Valley software company, and then here in Vancouver at HTech, working as an operations engineer.
And my background is in finance, and I was on the founding team of 2 early stage startups before this. We also have 2 great mentors, Clayton on the strategic side, who has a background in finance and scaled his company to a Series B, and then Ahmed on the technical side, who's very highly educated and specializes in machine learning applications in manufacturing. We have 2 revenue streams, and that's because our hardware is priced at $10,000 upfront, and our software is priced at $30,000 annually for large buyers and $12,000 for small buyers. With an average order size of 12 units per buyer, we can reach $1 billion valuation with $180 million of revenue, and that's only 1,339 buyers, which is a very small portion of our total global market. Our solution is dual use, and it's critical for structural construction projects, which include data centers, which have had a huge investment recently, shipbuilding, defense systems, and also oil and gas pipelines. This gives us a huge market opportunity with $52 billion worth globally, and $16 billion worth of that is right here in North America. We're starting very narrow with one type of welding on one type of project, which is worth $41 million in North America. We've proven demand. Since starting on this 8 months ago, we have done over 150 customer interviews to narrow down our problem, and we've built a 468 unit waitlist. 2 partners from that waitlist have been helping us for free on the side because they want early access. We've also created a functional prototype, and we just got into Mass Challenge for Defense and Creative Destruction Lab. We're raising a $500,000 pre-seed round, which will get us to market. It'll supplement pilot revenue to achieve iteration based on pilot feedback, the initial compliance that we need, and it'll help us reach 9 early adopters, which generates our first $1 million of revenue, marking profitability. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great job. All right, so we will kick it off, and we have questions already. So Rio, I'm going to pass to Stanley right behind you.
Where's the manufacturing going to be done?
So to start with, currently our plan is to have manufacturing split into 3 phases. For the pilots, we're manufacturing everything in-house. We have access to labs at UBC for free, and we're able to do this so that we can quickly iterate based on pack. We're starting these pilots now in October. And then moving on, we're going to slowly go towards more outsourcing to have that first initial 9 customers in the market, which is slightly going to increase our COGS. And then as we raise our seed round, we're going to fully outsource everything, use injection molders and custom PCBs to once again drastically decrease our COGS and increase scalability. Thank you. Phil, and I saw another, yes, Richard, you'll be next.
Sorry, so this is an add-on to welding devices? Is it for manual welding or for robotic welding?
Yeah, exactly. So it's an add-on that clips onto any welding device. We're starting with manual welding, and then as we're scaling, we're going to go into robotic welding as well.
Okay.
Sophia was just in Toronto this week, and we were getting a lot of interest from robotic manufacturers as well that want to use something similar to this and add it onto their devices.
So this is for because their inspection is there's pre-welding, through welding, and then after. This is what kind of technology is it using? Like, is it?
So we're doing it based on acoustics.
Okay.
Right. And as Rio comes over to Richard, I'm going to just ask another question. So you've given us your revenue model. You talked about the markets that you can go into and where you're going to start. What does and also gave a very attractive, ambitious valuation that you're shooting for as well. Tell me a little bit about the financial outlook over the next few years, getting to market and how you scale this up. What are your financial revenue targets that you're aiming for?
So we're approaching pilots now, and we aim to do 12 pilots and generate $120,000 of revenue from that at $10,000 per unit for. Then we'll supplement that pilot revenue with $500,000 of this pre-seed injection to break even with 4 early adopters, and then reach our first $1 million of revenue with 9 early adopters in 2026. Part of our tech roadmap includes this new market entry of shipbuilding in 2028, and then we expect a 41x return over the next 4 years as we scale and grow.
Thank you. Richard?
Yes, I like what you're doing here. When I was young and on my first site working on the largest power station in Western Europe, I arrived and 2 days later, the welding engineer broke his legs and I was told, you've got his job. And for the next several weeks, I was joined at the hip to the head of quality. So, and the issue was really real here. It was one of getting that quality report each day of these are what went wrong. This is what went wrong. Go back and fix and fix. So I see this as real. What I question though is that if you put a $10,000 price tag on a piece of hardware, are you creating a barrier to people actually adopting it, where what you will be valued on is that recurring revenue piece? So I question whether the business model might be tweaked to have a lower barrier to start with a more on the recurring revenue side.
There's definitely room for flexibility once we're in market testing different pricing methods, but in September, we went to 2 of the biggest fabrication conferences in North America, and we booked several pilots there and validated our pricing at this price point. $10,000 is pretty cheap for most of the equipment that they tend to be buying in welding and across manufacturing for these processes. It's also under their CapEx price. So they're able to buy 1 unit, pilot it without having to get extra permission. And then, it's easy for them to create that minimum order justification.
Is that US 10,000?
Yes.
That is all the time we have for questions for Sonibel, but you have your station at the back. You've got your product here as well to show everyone how it's working. And so save those questions. And thanks so much for the great presentation.
Thank you.
Our next presenter I'd like to invite to the stage is Anthony to tell us about HtuO.
So my HtuO Biosciences journey for angel investing started at Vantec, virtual during the COVID pandemic. And so this is actually my first Vantec presentation in person. Thought that was pretty cool. But the company's now 5 years old. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So my name is Anthony Fayesh. I'm the CEO of HtuO Biosciences. What we're actually working on is physics-enabled software for drug discovery. And that means this is not AI, this is not approximations, this is solving the core physics and math problems. We were founded in October 2020, so we just celebrated our 5th birthday this past week. We have raised about a little over $3.5 million US to date. We've used that for R&D. Things have gone fairly well. The team has grown to about 12 people, and we're currently preparing for commercialization. As part of that, we've been part of the J Labs, the Johnson & Johnson's incubator, J Labs in San Francisco. That's their flagship location, and we've completed all 3 of the milestones they set for us on the technology development front, which is why we're getting ready for commercialization. This is the team. It encompasses physicists, chemists, biologists, computer programmers, and business people. We need all of those things to do what we're doing, and we have the right team to get through there. We've also recently added Neil Klumpus to our board. He is formerly the president and CEO at Zymeworks, where I was actually a co-founder, as it happens. So we've also got Alvin Chubbs on there, so who was a Vantec member. So that's part of our board. So the problem that we're actually working on is pretty clear. When people design drugs, they start off at the end, they have a billion molecules they have to go through to screen that down to a couple hundred molecules, and they have to screen that down to 1 molecule. You take 1 drug forward into clinical trials. So going through that process of winnowing it down is actually difficult. We have 3 different markets that we're planning to disrupt with our technology. We've got small molecule drug discovery, molecular modeling, and lead optimization. We actually have technology now based off of what we built with our models to interrupt two of the core pieces, the hit to lead phase and the lead optimization phase. So each of those I can tell you a little bit about. We have, first of all, we have our high throughput system. That is an interesting tool that sort of came out of what we were doing. We developed our models and then discovered that it can do something that none of our competitors can do. It can actually get best-in-class results at about 1,000 times faster without going down the same heavy computational algorithm use that all of our competitors use. So we're actually able to change the value economics of doing some of those screenings for the hit to lead compounds. On the second front, we have a high accuracy tool that allows us to get best-in-class simulations. We think it will continue to improve because we've just recently solved a number of challenges that all of our competitors have in their underlying technology. So drug discovery, we have the opportunity to dominate in a few of these areas when we start to commercialize. So as part of that, we've already signed a grant-funded deal to work on osteoporosis with a UK-based company, Micrographia. That just kicked off this month. We're really happy to see that move forward. We've also been working with J&J on some final validation work. So Johnson & Johnson have taken a big interest in both of our technologies, the high throughput and the high accuracy. The high throughput, they want to move forward earlier. So we've begun on that. They gave us a roadmap in August about how to get to paid projects with them, which we see happening roughly January coming up. So we're on track with them. And we have a number of other contracts under discussion and more. It's also worth mentioning down at the bottom, we're also talking with 4 members of the CQDM, which is a Quebec-based organization that helps validate technologies for big pharma. Those projects typically then lead into much greater adoption with those companies as well. So all of these things are on our roadmap, and we've had pretty good traction with another 30 odd companies, some big pharma, some small pharma, some biotech who are interested in adopting our technology. Right now, what we're doing is we're looking for a bridge round. We know we've got this traction in front of us. We just need to extend our runway a little bit to get through that next round where we get the validation. Ultimately, we want to get through these validation contracts. They are not a huge monetary upfront payment from our customers. We expect that to get bigger as we go forward. Once validation is done, they go from being 100,000 to 200,000 up to being million plus royalty plus milestones. So we know that that scalability is there in the model, but we need to get through that. So we've raised 300K already in the past month. The right of first offer has just expired for existing shareholders. So we're looking to add new shareholders in that category. However, that being raised as a safe, we also know that we have a number of things coming up ahead of us. We're going to immediately launch into a seed round, a VC funded round, because we see scaling happening. As part of a conversation with Merck, they raised the idea that they could be doing $20 to $30 million projects with us each year. And that gives us some sense of where we'd like to go. And thus, we will need to be scaling up our hardware and our team size to handle that volume of traffic. That's all looking forward to 2026, of course. Finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. All right, so we'll open it up for Q&A, and I will start us off. So you mentioned that AI was one of the competitors on your radar, at least. And I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit about AI as a competitor and why it's not just going to eat your lunch as it continues to evolve.
Yeah, that's a fun question. AI has taken a lot of leads in a number of areas. The generative AI, you've probably seen variational AI, another Vancouver-based company. They've done very well. However, AI is really in the business of approximating. If you give it enough data, it can figure out something that fits. So if you're looking for the 301st drug for a particular class of target, AI can tell you that. That's what variational AI is mainly doing. They're looking for their large training sets. In our case, we're going after things that don't have training sets. 95 to 99% of the potential drug targets don't have training for AI. That will never be able to solve those problems until someone else has designed a drug. To make those first inroads, you need to do this. And ultimately, because AI is in the business of approximating, and we're in the business of finding exact models with the physics underneath it to support it, we can also answer questions that they can't, and then explain why and how they work, which our partners really like.
Questions at the front? Oh, sure, Abdul, and then we'll do right here.
Thank you, Anthony, for the presentation. Great presentation. Just disclosure, we're already invested and eFund is already invested, so that's great. Can you go back to the numbers? Like, what is your revenues actually right now? That's the...
We are currently pre-revenue, so we have not generated any revenue yet.
You have not generated any revenue last year?
We expect that to start roughly January this year. So our first contract is out. We're hoping to sign that before the end of the year. That contract will bring about between 100 and 200,000 US, depending on the services that the client chooses to take from that contract. And we know that J&J, Johnson & Johnson, has also looked at doing several projects with us. So that could be another couple $100,000 per project. And we expect that to start in January based on the roadmap they handed to us.
Quick one, I think you already asked half part of the question. The second one, I think you open a safe which converted to seed. So what's your pre-seed close at like?
I'm sorry, which is our?
Your safe is right now open, which is converted to seed round. At what value like you close your pre-seed?
Right. But what value did we close the pre-seed? The pre-seed, I think, was a 9.5 million valuation plus money for our last round. That's why this one will close at that value if we do not have a seed round in the next 18 months. So we have a lower
So
trigger.
9.5 is pre-seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so you are looking to do if we go to the next one here, just to be sure. So the institutional 4 million USD seed, this is like the past the bridge seed.
Right.
It's a little nuanced, but I actually quite like the structure you've done with this safe. I'm not the biggest fan of safes, but having that timeline of 18 months for guaranteed conversion and a sweetener if you're not able to get there, I think makes this quite attractive.
Yeah, I think that this actually holds a lot of value. This is sort of the last opportunity we expect angel investors to be able to get involved. And from here, it'll probably be institutional. We expect to see much larger sums going forward for raises if we do more raises. That was an open question last time we were raising. How many rounds will it take? There are a lot of opportunities for exit for us. I'm happy to discuss those in more detail if you're interested.
Wonderful. And we'll open it up for another question or two here. But while we do, question that I have for you is, obviously you're in a lot of the validation pilot stage with a lot of these customers looking to get into revenue early next year. When does that hockey stick growth take place? Like what does that look like as far as how you're able to accelerate and scale this?
That's a fantastic question. All the validation projects that we're doing generally have a price tag of about 100 to 200,000. But that's because they're validation studies. Once we get past that, we know that typically a large pharma will be paying about a minimum of $500,000 for these projects, and that scales up to $1 to $2 million. And often they come with royalties and milestones as well. So it pretty quickly ramps up past the validation stage.
Great. You have a question online?
Yeah, Greg is asking, will the VCs dilute the angels into oblivion? Can you plan to stand more on your own cash flow?
That is definitely possible. That's been an open discussion since the very start about when the revenue kicks in. The bridge round is really about making sure we have enough runway to get through there. The seed round is really about scaling. So if we end up with 20 projects a year from Merck plus J&J plus Servier plus GSK, all of those, we're looking at 100 projects a year, and we'll just need the capital just to scale up to handle that volume of projects. So at that point, it's no longer a question of dilution. It's really a question of how fast can we capture that market and get through it, the infrastructure we need to handle that volume. So I don't see that being a dilutive piece. I think that is much more of just a sheer scaling.
All right. Next up, I'd like to introduce Rita and Claudia to tell us about Ediccare. So I will pass the controls over to you. All right.
Hi, everyone. Here at Ediccare, we are building a platform for oral care. And I want to introduce to a person. This is Tom, and this is Tom's gums. His dentist diagnosed him with a 7mm pocket in his gums, warning him that he should take care of them. And he started taking care of with water pick and mouthwash. But if things didn't improve, he was looking at gum surgery in his future. And we already know that gum surgery, they are not pleasant. They cost a fortune. The time healing is weeks, and the healing process can take up to 6 months for your gums to fully regenerate. And this is the turning point. Tom's used Edicare topical gel for a month. His pocket depth went down to 6mm. He avoided surgery. He didn't spend a fortune in treatments, and he is taking care of his gums health. We all know that 1 in every 2 people in the world have suffered from gum disease, or they will suffer. And the treatment costs are piling up into the billions. And it's really crazy to think that oral care has always been focusing on teeth and not the gums, especially the gum line where the problem really starts. So here is Ediccare brings the solution that is a patent pending gum line topical gel It's a unique and non-invasive live-in with approach where it's gonna treat your gums where the toothbrush cannot reach. We have support for the gums and the teeth. We have a label making off after communication with Canada Health. And this is the breakthrough. It's a very simple idea, but it has a powerful meaning. First, your bacteria in your mouth, they will feed from your food, your sugars, your carbs. They will build up a matrix, and that can turn into billions of bacteria in just a few hours. Our biopolymer matrix will prevent that bacteria from building up, putting down the scaffold. It's like trying to build the scaffold for the building, but our topical gel will bring like a shield and will prevent that bacteria from growing up. And here we have testimonials from people that already mentioned less bleeding, they have smoother teeth and better sensation after cleaning after 2 days. And we are very excited because we are talking with dental professionals in the Great Vancouver area, and even the Canadian Dental Hygiene Association is interested in collaborating with us.
Well, we're heading to the 50 billion global oral care market. We're using the gum-specific toothpaste segment as a benchmark for our first oral hygiene product. And that is a $5 billion market. With our $1 a day pricing, we're looking at 50 million revenue by 2029. Our business model is B2B to C. So we start B2B selling to dentists and hygienists. With their adoption and endorsement, we expand to dental chains and then to retail. Big oral care brands like P&G and Colgate are publicly looking for products like ours. Our strategic plan is to scale to global market and for potential exit 2029. In 2026, we work with a professional sales group engaging 25 clinics and 2,400 users. We build our credibility to scale. By 2029, we're looking at 100 million, or this 100 million revenue projection is based on 500,000 users, which is less than 1% of the 65 million people who have gum disease in the States alone. Imagine the impact when we hit and further expand into the global market. We have raised $350,000 for early validation and filing our patent. With this round of $750,000 we're raising, we will further secure our IP, expand our validation, engage the clinicians for a strong launch September 2026. We have a fantastic team spanning from pharmaceutical science, dental biomaterials. We united by a shared vision for holistic and scientific approach to improve our lives, and supported by an amazing advisory team.
So come with us and start gelling with Ediccare and join us with the opportunity of taking care of people's gum health. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you want to come over here so that you can answer the questions here. So we will open it up for our questions. We've got one at the front here.
It's probably about two items. One, the moat that you're going to build around your chemical formula or your secret sauce. In this case, it really is a secret sauce. And the second one probably is that looking at in 2026, only scoring 20 dentists and 5 hygienists seems like very low if you're paying somebody to do that. That's one every 2 weeks, and that just strikes me as being pretty slow. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The first question, for the patent, we are working with Smart & Biggar, which is probably one of the best patent law firm. So we filed our patent covering a major global market. And we are building a patent family as well as trademarks and trade secret to strengthen our moat. For the sales.
25 a year, that seems small.
Really, yeah. So because we are really launching officially launched September 2026. So this is really just a partial, like a number, partial sales number. Yeah.
We have a question at the back. We'll come back to you, Abdul. And in the meantime, tell us about how you compare to other solutions that are out there.
So we are really feeling a gap in the oral care, and exactly on the gum line, where the issue starts and where it has been consistently overlooked. So I'm a pharmaceutical scientist, so I basically look at, so we are approaching is from outside the box. So we are the only one on the market that will help you clean the teeth, will take care of your gums in one simple.
Okay, Peter.
So it seems almost too obvious. Have any other competitors tried to do something similar? And a follow-on from that is, how will you protect your innovation, your IP strategy?
Yes, so as we've talked a little bit, so we're working with Smart & Biggar for the IP part, and for the competitors. So basically, big oral care brands is looking for a product like ours. So we are aware of that. So we are working with the best patent law firm at the start.
Thank you, Rita. I think great presentation since the first time I've seen the great improvement. The question is actually, so basically, what's the use of funds? And 750,000, do you think like you can create the education that's needed? Because I feel like you're gonna need a lot of money to create. I mean, it's a product that's not there, obviously, right? Yep. And I understand that you're going through the dentists to create that education, but I feel it's a really like a long way, kind of, unless you can do medical like a claim, like I asked you about that before, and I'm not sure if you are able to put a claim that you can actually recover the gum, because according to a lot of the dentists that I spoke to, that until now there is nobody who can say, yes, this product really stop the gum proceeding, like from proceeding. My wife had 2 surgeries to do gum graft, and it cost, like you say, tons of money. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Abdul. Like really the demands is there. The patient education is exactly why we do first. We do need, we actually trying to engage professionals to help us educate the patients, and also they will also help us find the beachcomb, like who will benefit first. And when the patient fits, it's through the word of mouth, and when the when the dentists see the benefits, and they will refer to more and more of their colleagues. So that's why we really pick this route. And we've talked with hygienists and dentists. So a lot of them, if they're willing to work with us, they're not exactly in this only for money. They're in this probably to help their patient. So that could, and this is probably way economical than go directly to market. Yeah, with a medical claim, we actually worked with regulatory advisors on the regulatory pathway. Well, what we realize is with a consumer product, it's the easiest one to get to market, and it has the biggest market. So we focus starting there while working towards the other medical claims and to target specific different market segments.
All right, we got 2 questions online, so just take one at a time, and that'll be all we have time for.
No problem. The first one's pretty quick. Does the gel have a taste, and is it rinsed off or left on?
Unfortunately, unlike listeners, you're not here. We bring sample here today, and you can, for all of you here, come and give it a try. Yeah, I can tell you it's pleasant.
It does has a taste. We are working right now with cherry, and we always advise you to use after the bedtime, so before the bedtime, so it will stay in your mouth for a period of time. But if you rinse your mouth, it will degrade the gel for sure.
Come try it.
And second question is, would this product be better or more successful as a B2C, as this market tends to be an advertising game? What sets you apart from products like Genigel, which are already dentist recommended and sold in brick and mortar stores, which aim at the same issue?
We actually have a slide here. We actually have Genigel here. We did investigate. So basically, as you can see, we have toothpaste, we have things for the teeth. Genigel is for the gums. We are the only one that take care of the teeth and the gum around the gum line. Only one.
All right, so next up we have Sandy from TwinGlaze to introduce us to his business. So we'll get the slides up there, Mark, and I'll pass it over to you. Take it away, Sandy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandy Wilson. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TwinGlaze, which is a window retrofit business. So I come from a automation background, a factory automation background, but I've always had a strong interest in building materials, and I've had a number of smaller companies in that space, including a window covering and blind installation business that I ran in Toronto for a while. But the problem TwinGlaze is here to solve is what we call the retrofit problem. And the retrofit problem is when we talk about retrofitting single pane office buildings and single pane multifamily residential. For example, the windows here are single pane windows. And if the building owner of this building wanted to replace these windows with higher efficiency, double or triple pane windows, they're spending $300, $400, or $500 per square foot to exchange these windows. When they look at their utility savings that they get from increasing the efficiency of the building, the payback period for exchanging these windows is in excess of 50, 60, sometimes 100 years. And it doesn't make sense. The windows don't even last more than 20 or 25 years when they're replaced. The solution is our TwinGlaze Tydra window insert, which is a cost-effective way to add 2 additional panes to your existing single pane windows. And we're able to get about a 300% improvement in thermal performance at a cost of around $25 per square foot and an associated payback period against your utility savings of as little as 6 years. We aren't the first window insert on the market, but we do have cost leadership and we do have feature leadership. So on the cost leadership side, we're coming in an order of magnitude lower than full window replacement and significantly lower than $60 or $90 per square foot for other window inserts. Associated, we have an order of magnitude reduction in the payback period as well versus full replacement. How do we get there? We have cost leadership from one key factor, but also a number of provisional patent applied design features. But the main factor is we are manufacturing the tempered glass and polycarbonate sealed unit offshore, and we're bringing that unit into Canada, where we domestically add value, including customized gaskets for each building and project that the product is being installed on. But on the feature leadership side, the key differentiation and the key novel feature relative to other window insert products is that we adhere directly to the glass. And for single pane, older buildings, these are buildings built prior to 1980, the seals on the windows are also very poor. And when bulk water, rain hits those windows, comes in through those seals, on other window insert products, it causes condensation on the inside because other window inserts seal to the mullions and the frames around the window, not to the glass itself. And so our product, through a vapor open gasket around the outside, allows that bulk moisture to pass around the product and be taken away by the HVAC system inside the room. All of these things together really allow us to stand behind our product. And as you can see, the visual acuity is the same as a regular window. There's no loss of your sight lines and your beautiful views out of your building. Our team consists of myself, some commercial experts, some clean tech experts, some of whom you may recognize. And we've also got a National Fenestration Council certified modeler on our team. But going to market, We have a demonstration project at the Harbor Center over here in Vancouver, where we are installing 64 of our units on their floor 10, which is a vacant floor in their building, this year. And we'll have a third party come and report on that thermal performance for them. And then they intend to purchase multiple other floors. So revenue is coming in Q2, Q3 of next year after we complete this demonstration project. We also have a lot of interest from performance contractors like Johnson Controls and a number of utilities as well. On the multifamily side, we've also got a demonstration project at UBC where we're trialing operable windows as well. To get there, we've raised 400,000 of our 800,000 target to get us to first revenue. And that's in the form of a safe with a 6 million cap and a 20% discount. It is EBC qualified and it is post money. And that 800,000 gets us through again to that first revenue. And that includes some production, those demonstration projects that I'm talking about, and some initial. Thank you, everyone. I'll take your questions.
It's always nice when you finish right as that time's up card's coming up. So good job on the timing on that. So we'll open it up for Q&A in the audience. We have a couple at the front here if you want to start there. Just a quick one from me, just on the raise that you're doing right now. So 6 million cap, post money, EBC eligible. Tell us when you're looking to get to that price round and what that looks like. Maybe.
Yeah, so that priced round would start after that first revenue. The priced round is going to be 2 million, and that's to raise money for a larger production facility. So our initial production that we're doing at Squamish is about 1,000 square feet a month is the capability. And then by the end of next year, through that priced round, obviously with a higher cap, we want to raise enough money to build out a production facility capable of about 30,000 square feet per month. Sorry.
Thank you. Great presentation. Both 3 different items. The first one, I called the Mike Volker question. What's the exit?
It's good question. There's a lot of window companies that don't have a window retrofit product. So there's exits that we can do to other larger window companies. But we do expect to also be naturally growing after we get into that full production.
Okay. Next question, have you looked at partnering with any of the major local firms like Garibaldi and that?
We've looked at it. Something to understand is that we are a bit of a competitor to them, right? We're displacing what would typically be very lucrative full window replacement jobs. Building like this could be $10 million to replace, and we're talking about doing it for about 10 times less than that.
Okay. Last thing I remember reading a few years back about Empire State Building.
Yep.
Where they literally removed the windows, refurnished them in the facility, and put them right back in. And is that number that did you have any handle on the number that they generated as a cost per square foot?
Yeah, so they were over $100 per square foot on that project. It is an interesting project. They were actually manufacturing in place. Yeah. And so as a result, they didn't get to really scale their manufacturing. And they didn't approach it from okay, how do we make this as low cost as possible, which is how we got to the offshore manufacturing option. Go to
2 questions, one technical, financial. Technical, does it stick to the glass you're saying?
Correct. So, yeah.
And did you test the quality of the, how is it sticking? Like, is there
so it's
does UV is gonna wear it after some time? Is it gonna?
Yeah, it's actually a traditional insulated glass unit spacer bar. So it's got desiccant inside of it, and then it's got an acrylic adhesive. It's designed to adhere to glass. So it's a well-known, well-tested spacer product and adhesive product for glass.
And for the financial part, is you're saying that you have advantage because you manufacture overseas. Yep. With shifting markets right now and tariffs and all that kind of stuff.
I'm glad you
asked. You would lose that advantage.
Yeah, so important in how we've set up the supply chain is we manufacture the sealed unit offshore. It comes in as a glass tariff code into Canada. We domestically add value here, achieve made in Canada status. We're adding essentially plastics. It becomes a plastic tariff code made in Canada. Therefore, we can conform to US-Mexico free trade and export to the United States under that.
I have one question and one follow-up. The question is, are you relating to TwinGlaze in Australia? And if not, how much of the 800,000 you planning for the litigation? They have the trademark.
They don't have a trademark in Canada or the United States.
Really?
Yeah. No, we did check that. Yeah.
All right, that is all the questions we have for this evening. So thank you so much, Sandy. We have our last presenter up for the evening. I'd like to introduce Francis to tell us a bit about disc alloys. So do you want the?
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. As you said, I'm Francis Steiner. I'm from Disc Alloys, the CCO. Disc sprays metal powder at supersonic speeds precisely to bond two different and difficult metals together, one for heat and one for strength or weight, optimizing the performance, all done without melting, which is completely unique. And dissipating heat is hard and expensive for multiple industries like plastics, electronics, and rocket combustion chambers. A mold made out of a single metal heats up and cools down too slowly, produces less parts. Imagine your iPhone, when it heats up, it starts slowing down. It has not been optimized for cooling. For rocket combustion chambers, when you look at them, so when you hear them, huge explosive forces, 2000 degrees. You need copper for the temperature, and the explosive forces you need Inconel. In all cases, you need to optimize putting two different metals together. It's extremely hard. And the industries, whoops, I'm one ahead. Oh, here we go, sorry. Underpinning these three industries are great forces of change. Right now, there's a reshoring of manufacturing, the new space age, the green energy transition, the data AI play. All these industries are growing right now, and we're going to spray copper into specific parts. If you recall, copper is the best thermal conductor out there. Our ability to spray is underpinned by our nozzle, a trade secret, a design that lasts longer, easier to repair, and delivers metal powder more precisely than the competition. Sorry, whoops, forgot, sorry, apologies, thank you. We will generate faster builds for rocket combustion chambers, use less materials for molds. Across all industries, this technology will reduce costs. And for higher performing parts, molds and cold plates, we've done, sorry, I gotta say that again. We'll create higher performing cold plate and mold parts, right? To build on this IP, we'll be working with Canadian universities to develop new patentable materials, adding carbon to improve thermal performance and titanium to improve performance outright. Our future clients will have a competitive advantage from low costs and new materials, allowing us to enter our beachhead market, stationary cold plate, which is essentially EV, wind and solar, inverters and converters, and also lasers. It's a $125 million market, growing at 7.5% per year. The next market we'll enter is the next market we'll enter is the actual mold market. Bimetallic molds heat up and cool down more quickly, producing more parts per minute. Ultimately, we'll get to the rocket combustion chambers, which are very complex. And all three of these markets, we've got interest. We've heard multiple times from the rocket manufacturers that if we can build it, they will buy it. But unfortunately, we don't have the data for them. And the reason why is our machines just a really prototype, and we need to do more testing to produce more parts. So to produce more parts, we need better machinery. You can probably see the pattern. So we need to raise $1 million. This $1 million will help us secure our pilots, but 90% will be given to R&D to build a better 3-axis machine in order for us to deliver the parts they're looking for. Our nozzle will deposit copper on cold plate faster than the competition, but more importantly, the cold plate will improve the performance of the underlying chips, make them last longer and perform better. And we'll work with our partners. This technology, because it's so advanced, we can't just drop it in a manufacturing facility. We will provide it as a service, which is typical for these highly advanced services, right? And we'll be able to track the early adopters. Whoops, I jumped ahead. I'm on the wrong slide. Sorry about that. I'll jump one more. And this team that's delivering this is extremely dedicated and keen. There we go, one more. I'm a little slow, thank you. All right, we have this really dedicated team supported by an amazing group of advisors. Recep is a PhD in thermal management and working on reaction engines, which is a rocket combustion company. We work with a gentleman named Will. He's ex-VP of space propulsion at SpaceX. Yes, he does know Elon. He's an amazing engineer across all these different areas. Roberto worked at one of the cold spray companies in Montreal called Polycontrols. And Professor Ahmed, thank you, is professor and wrote a seminal paper in cold spray and advanced materials. Stefano over there is the genius behind this technology. He's got a PhD in mechanical engineering, but more importantly, masters in computational mechanics, which allows us to determine which end markets will benefit from this technology. I'm Francis Steiner. I'm a 5-time startup guy. First 3 I blew up. 4th was sold to Philips Healthcare. 5th one's right now raised 8 figures. It's on the way to becoming, dare I say it, a unicorn. And we're looking to raise $1 million. As I mentioned before, we're looking for our lead investor. I hope you'll help us on our journey. And if you have any questions, happy to take them.
All right, thank you so much, Francis. So we'll open it up for questions, but I think there's a natural one because last time that you were here, you were pitching to us about rocket combustion chambers being the starting point. This is where you found the opportunity. And this is also where you have had the most conversations with potential customers in the market as well. So tell me a little bit more about your reasoning behind switching the beachhead market now to cold plates.
Sure. Thank you. Great question. The reason why is when we mentioned at the beginning, we're half a spray Inconel. Inconel is a very difficult metal to spray. So we started originally with spraying as we've talked about copper. It's an easier, softer metal to spray, and we're moving up through there. Aluminum will be next. Zinc and tin, yeah, will be the next ones we spray. As we go through this, we can start spraying steel and Inconel. We'll go into the mold market and then ultimately to the rocket combustion chambers. The other thing about rocket combustion chambers, as you might well know, they're extremely complex to build. And those geometries are quite hard to create with existing technologies we have. So we believe that market is still out there for us. We still get people, we still talk to people about it. Next week, we're in Seattle talking to people about this marketplace. We'll get there, but not right now.
Any other questions? We've got one at the front with Harvey here.
What about jet engines?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question, jet engines. Right now, for us to enter that marketplace, we will eventually do that market, but the level of regulation to go through the FAA approval process is probably somewhere between 7 and 20 years. So I'd love to get there, but I want to build in some other technologies. I mean, GE has been looking at this space for a long time, but we'll get there. Definitely an idea.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand. You're considered like a plating kind of technology?
Sorry?
A plating, like, like when...
A blading? No, not a blading. We're additive.
Okay, so how thick is the layer that you're...
We can go as thick as you like. Basically, our standards, we can go to about 0.5 millimeter, and we can keep building it up. It's just a matter of time and how fast we spray. Our biggest limiter right now is we don't have enough gas tanks and a big enough pump and compressor to push it out. We can build it up steadily. We could build something the size of this room.
So you could be like a 3D metal printing company?
We're a 3D metal printing company. We are.
All right. Do we have any online?
He just wants to go back into the deal terms.
Okay, we are. Is there if there's a question about the deal terms, please let us know, but we've got those up there. I do want to ask a quick question just about the unit economics and financial outlook for this. Obviously, you're pre-revenue right now, working on some pilots, getting the data needed to attract the customers. Once you get that, what does the hockey stick growth look like?
Well, we have a slide here. We're trying to be, our biggest challenge in this marketplace is that the different markets, the different segments have different price points and different sizes. So we're looking at a typical economics of at least 50% gross margin for when we go in. And as we take off in this marketplace, our minimum order is looking at targeting at $10,000 and moving up from there. Rocket combustion contracts run to a few $1 million. The molds are ranging between $10,000 and $25,000. It doesn't take much to get these volumes up.
Fantastic. A question over here, Peter.
So what would be the accuracy to which you could, what's the pixel size for that? And can you talk about after depositing the sintering or other processes?
If I'm not wrong, correct me, we're 0.5 millimeter, right? Or millimeter, it's a millimeter, right? A millimeter. We can do some post-processing to refine it, to make it smaller, but 0.5 millimeter is what our target is right now. Refinement.
Right.
Sintering, well, we don't do sintering, but we can actually machine it afterwards. If we wanted to add another material that required heating and melting, we could do that because it just becomes an inner piece of metal at the bottom. But part of the reason what we do is unusual is because we try to put these two metals together that melting, if you wanted to melt things together, there's probably a better process already out there, and we're not going to try and target that method. This is when you don't want to melt the metals together because you'll cause distortion or problems in that process.
Right. And when you bring these two metals together without melting them, you maintain their properties, correct?
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. All right. So all the questions for this evening. If you have others, the presenters will be around. Grab a drink, and we'll have some food coming out a little bit later as well. Again, if you, around for getting ahead of myself there. Clearly, I need a drink. All right. So just as a reminder, everybody, we do have our next event next month on November 5th. And that'll be at the BCIT Tech Collider. And that's everything. Break. Thanks, everyone.